Um, this is Mother's Day 2014, and I just would like to have a few words to say to the women in my life, and those who know me well know an awful lot of them. I have 5 daughters. I have 12 granddaughters. You see, most of my major employment, women have been my supervisors, and I've been surrounded with women, and women are just a big part of my life. Another aspect of my life, and that's just the life I have, see. The women, the girlfriends and the wives that I've had have all been major teachers, major influences in my life. One stands out among everything else. Among the 5 daughters, all the women, everything, even my own mother. My wife has had a more profound influence on me, beneficial influence on me, than almost everybody else combined. It's just the way it is. And although I have had 2 wives, it's the second wife that I'm with. And like I said, once she came into my life became completely radicalized. And it remains that way. And that's her influence. So, but I say radical, but what's influential about her is her mothering quality. The quality of mothering that I have seen in her every time I've ever been around her. And she'll apply it to me as well. So, but she's not alone. I have 5 daughters. They're all grown. I have 12 granddaughters. So I have 5 daughters who are also mothers. I have had my own mother, of course, who was a huge influence on me in her own way, and from whom I apparently inherited a lot of the traits that I value most in myself. Okay, so motherhood surrounds me, and my principal relationship in this life actually is the best mother I know, and I have learned to value or appreciate the whole concept of motherhood because of this living example that I experience. Some of which has produced some of the most incredible grandchildren you can ever imagine. Now, that's me. That's like my story. And I'm telling you, girls, okay? And not just my girls. I've learned this. All right? This mothering is a universal concept. This mothering that I'm talking about, this powerful influence in my life that I'm talking about, there's a lot of other men out there that know that. Most of them know that, if they're being honest. Women, fantastic. Also be a little difficult to deal with now, girls. But when your mothering is at its best, it's almost like God being perfectly expressed. It's almost like, bet that's the way God does it, just like a mother. All those books you see on the shelf in the back there, they're metaphysical. My girls all know that. You can't shut that up. He wants to talk about the truth. And what you learn if you spend your whole life studying all of man's scriptures and sutras and the new guys teaching today and the old guys teaching yesterday, you're going to come up with this idea that the feminine pretty important quality. And it is the feminine qualities that almost all religions and metaphysical structures encourage us to pursue. Loving kindness, gentleness, compassion, long-suffering, mama, not judging, just loving, like a mother. The good mother. Now, every woman's not an ideal mother. I'm certainly not an ideal man. We're working on it. But every now and then the ideal shines through in both the man and the woman. And when it does, you don't have to go any place to experience heaven or peace or harmony. It's right there with you when a mother mothers or when a father fathers in the ideal way. And that's done all the time, every day. It's not just my own girls. My own girls have girlfriends, and those mother girlfriends are fantastic mothers. See what I'm saying? And I, same way with the women who I have been associated with in my generation, and my own mother in the previous generation. She wasn't the only one. Motherhood. And when you're talking about all this metaphysical stuff and all this kind of stuff, where would we ever come up with something like motherhood on our own? You see, or out of survival of the fittest. You see what I'm saying? So metaphysically speaking, we love motherhood, and motherhood's good for us. Ideal motherhood is just strengthening us and opening our eyes and letting us breathe deeper and laugh harder and live more. So we got that out of... You see what I'm saying? The very fact that we are privileged, blessed to experience such wonderful interactions indicates that maybe there's a cause that's really good behind it all. Motherhood. It's an ideal. In the ancient teachings, they'll suggest that we are to acquire these female characteristics. And one of the best contemporary metaphysical dissertations that I know of, it suggests that God is better understood in God's female capacity than in its male. That may be how big our change that our culture has to make. It ain't a he, guys. You see, it's probably a she. It being God. And you know, I think she's easier to love. You see, I've had no trouble loving women. There's been a few other problems about kind of living in the same space, but because I'm a man, and that's what we're here to do, is learn how to deal with all that. And the first thing you can do, guys, is really learn to respect motherhood and see how much of a reflection it is of God's better qualities. I don't think if it wasn't for the love of a mother, we probably wouldn't be talking about God being compassionate and loving and kind and merciful and gentle, and you see. And that's probably the aspect of God that we need to learn more about just how wonderful women can be in the ideal. But we're working on that, girls, and some of you, I got daughters, I got women, and I got a wife that make my heart shine, that are my cause for going on. You see, like, okay, you know, there'll be another day, and I'll be sitting there watching that mothering and watching the love and the joy and the innocence and the hope shine out of my grandchildren. And I'm not alone. That's part of the human experience, too. That's part of what's going on in America. I don't give my wife flowers on Mother's Day. Don't do it. You know why? Because I give her flowers, well, 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a month, once a week. Sometimes, at least twice a month, sometimes as much as once a week. Sometimes more. Sometimes I go pick them, sometimes I buy them. I grow them too. For my wife. She likes them. And I like my love when my wife is happy. You see, and flowers are a good thing. Make me happy too. So, I don't give her flowers Mother's Day, because I give her flowers all the time for being an awesome mother, great wife, a healing influence in my life. Healing influence in my life. So I don't give her flowers on Mother's Day. And I got a reason, that I don't. But it's okay for me to tell her I love her, and to tell her she's a great mother, and to tell my daughters are great mothers, and my mother, who is deceased, but she's there. She was good for me. You know, she really was. She was good for me. So, moms and dads, but moms, I know you're out there in the millions, every race, every tradition. I know your hearts long for your children, like God does after the human race, all of us. Women, bless you. Bless you all. God loves you. I promise you, whatever your karma, whatever your circumstance, you are the expression of God's love for all mankind, just like a mother for her children. We love you.